Hello and welcome tonight to the Hobby Table. I'm your host for the day, Blake, joined by my always oberlicious podcast host, Oberlin. How the fuck are you, buddy?
Oh man, it's a good day. It's a good day.
You got back from fighting the polar bears?
Yeah, it was a hard, long war, but we managed to get through it.
I'm glad that you Swedes won your war against the polar bears. Yeah. We won't bring up wars against wildlife when Australia's concerned.
I stumbled in a tavern on the way, so...
How are your nipples? Razor sharp after that combat?
Oh, exactly.
Well, brother, it's good to see you. It's been a bit. It's been a hot minute.
It's been a while, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Exactly, like that old Stained song. It's been a while. Hey, so before we get into the small talk and the absolute banter, I thought I'd just reveal our cards early, as it were.
Oh.
I think today, you and I should have a little bit of a chat about Pokemon.
It's been a long time coming, this one, isn't it?
Dude, I think we've had this in the barrel since we first started, right?
Yeah,
like this was on the initial sheet of ideas for shit to do. And we sort of just kept bumping it down and bumping it down.
Yeah.
And like, not because it's not good, but it's just such a big subject to cover.
Yeah.
Like, it's so multifaceted. So today, I think we're going to throw a big net and try and capture it all and get it. So I did there. So I did there.
Catch of the day.
Get a catch it all.
Oh.
And then down the road, I think we might, maybe if you want to single in on certain parts of this fandom as a hobby, you know, because there is aspects of it that are unique hobbies themselves. So
yeah,
today is just the general, just the intro. In case y'all don't know your Pokemons for your Digimons and your Yu-Gi-Ohs and your Dragon Balls, you know.
Dragon Balls. Oh no.
Oh no. Anyone that doesn't know the difference between Dragon Ball and Pokemon, I don't know how.
And Digimon, there's a big difference there.
I can understand the confusion there, but no one gets my boy Vegeta confused, okay? No one.
No.
No one. Yeah. Anyway, man, what the fuck have you been up to, dude? Hobby-wise, life-wise, what's been popping?
I think it might be shorter to say what I've been doing hobby-wise, because it's been a minimal amount, for real.
Obi, fingering your bum does count. That's fine.
Oh, okay. Good. I was almost gonna ask you if gaming counts, but we know that that's not a hobby, so...
It does count because it's part of the episode, okay? You can see it. Let's just... It counts. It counts as hobbying, Obi.
It's because I didn't get the chance to correct you in the last episode.
It counts. It counts.
No. Alright, hobby-wise, actually, the Leviathan box, besides the Terminators, are all built. So I'm really happy with that. So they're ready for paint. To jump off on that, for the Tyranid side, I've been 3D printing a lot of bits and stuff. So I've ended up with a thick Tor, if you might catch my drift.
It actually looks so good. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
I don't know. It just always comes back to that joke of like, licked her? I hardly even know her.
Yeah,
exactly. It always comes back to that in my mind. And I don't know why that Lictor needed a big booty and big titties, but I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, I'm really happy I finished it. But it was a bitch to get it right, because when I've printed it out, like, certain pieces didn't print and on another, because there's two different models that you can print off. And like, it printed off on one, so I had to do like a whole lot of kit bashing and get one model together, even though I printed out two. So, in the end, I'm happy with that.
So it's a bit of a shit show.
Yeah, a little bit, but it worked out. It got me the chance to try out, what's it called, UV resin in a bottle and just curing it with a torch. And using that as glue instead of like super glue. So that was a really good...
Was it good? Did it work?
It worked really good, and it's like really good to like fill in gaps and everything too. So you just
For
dab
your
in a
resin
little bit.
minis, I guess, particularly,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it was real good.
Nice.
It's also been my boy's birthday, and he got a Hive Tyrant. So that kit comes with like a load of bits, and I was like, "Hey, you still need these?" And he was like, well, I can't make another model, so I did. I printed out a body and tail, and I made myself a flying Hive Tyrant with the
See, I have
remaining
no
bits.
problems with that because you already paid for like the models.
Yeah.
You're just maximizing what you have a little, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like considering doing one more because there's enough bits to make one more actually. So I don't know.
I did that.
Maybe I don't know. But so far the Tyranid army is looking pretty big. So I need to buy some bases and put them on, and then I kind of want to do like either I do industrial bases because that would fit with the xenomorph theme, or I would do jungle bases, but then it feels like does that really match with xenomorphs?
Maybe your Tyranids are the ones that my Jurassic Parks that my Jurassic Park Marines are taming. Maybe that's why they're on the jungle planet.
Could be.
But nah,
Could be a temple.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Or you can make massive pits of blood and gore on there using red UV resin and have like skeletons and shit like that sticking out of there, like they've like, or even make it like green UV resin so it looks like they're pits of acid with humans and remains and shit inside them.
Yeah.
That like they've vomited up the biomass into.
Maybe. How it'll be hard to distinguish that from like Nurgle bases and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Well, make it something that looks distinctly like acidic rather than pestilent.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and that does tie into your xenomorph theme.
Yeah,
because it's like the acidy blood, you know.
Yeah, because the xenomorph, the paint job is like it's very gray and bluish. It's pretty much black. So
yeah,
what my idea is to use the UV resin to make like some drool, and then because they're always drooling, and then either have like the acidic blood that when they get wounded.
Yeah.
Or like having their brains like being that green. Because some models have the green. Yeah.
What I was going to say, what you should do is get yourself some like fly netting, right?
Yeah.
On one of your Hormigons and like base coat him moot green and then cover him in the fly netting and hit him with your black. So he has the grid like the one out of Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah.
Like he's been caught in that net. Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. That's really good. Just do it on one of them. Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool
just
idea.
one. He's net face, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But
you can have that one for free.
Thanks. But besides printing, because now I've kind of put the printer aside because it's getting too cold in Sweden. It's, wintertime. So no more printing. I'm building, so I'm getting ready to paint. I want to do the bases then on the nids. I've also built a couple of custodies. It's the last box of custodies. And I think hobby-wise, that's not much else. Most of my time has been going to playing Hogwarts Legacy.
That's a good game. That's a good game.
It's a really good game. I'm obsessed
I'm
with
a little
it.
bit upset. I'm a little bit upset that you can't be on the team of the goblins. I kind of just want to be a goblin and just kill students at Hogwarts, but apparently that's not no.
I haven't even gotten the unforgivable curses yet, so I'm excited to see what people I can send to hell. Exactly. Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Man, when I get that curse, like if I get it, because I'm not all the way through it either, but I'm just gonna shout that at the top of my lungs every time I do it. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's good. Cool. What about you, man?
Oh, bro, me. Valid question. Well, I've been working on a bunch of my 3D prints. Yeah, a lot of stuff there. Like, I'm still working on my Mando helmet. It's looking really smooth. I reckon I got maybe one more coat of filler primer.
Okay.
Then, like, a nice 1,000 grit or 600 grit sand.
Yeah.
Then hit it with, like, proper primer. Then go to paint.
Hell
like,
yeah.
we're getting to that level. I just got to get in and have some time to do a bit on crunch lately. I finished Mikey's scorpion mask. Did all the weathering on it, all that sort of shit. I'll show you that. I think I put it in the Discord too, but if not, I will.
Yeah.
That's really sick. And I also, for Halloween, printed... You ever play Darksiders, or you know Darksiders?
No, it doesn't ring a bell, really.
It's like Xbox 360 era, like God of War sort of game. But in the first one you play as War, and the second one you play as Death.
Okay.
And Death's mask looked really fucking sick to me. And I was trying to come up with a Halloween costume idea, so I was like, you know what? I sort of just want to do like my own Death-themed homebrew Sith Lord outfit.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a black robe with a hood, and I printed out the mask from Death from Darksiders, because it just suited. And yeah, painted it up, I did it in I think 2 or 3 days, printed, sanded, processed, done. And it turned out really well, really spooky. It was a bitch to look down in, and I had to use the straw to drink my beer, but it was worth it.
Fair enough.
Other than that, I got a Gundam at the Hobby Expo, the RX-78, the black and green one. I've built his chest, his head, and his little dumb jet that came with him that I didn't realise wasn't actually part of the model. It's just like an extra thing, which I never would have fucking built if I had realised. But anyway, I built it, and then I'm like, hold on a minute, I don't fucking need this dumb thing. I don't care about stupid little planes. If I want to build a plane, I'll build a plane. You know?
Yeah. Well.
I don't care about that shit. I just want the Gundam. So, but yeah, I've been building that. It's going pretty smooth. Other than that, just actually, my tank that I had the African cichlids in, that got a leak. Remember that? Remember that catastrophe that happened? So I had to transfer the tanks for them.
Yeah.
I woke up with water over. Yeah. So a while ago now. But I got in and I started with a razor blade removing all the old silicone out of that.
Okay.
So all I need now is to get some acetone, wipe down where the silicone was, and then I can go and reseal it. And that's going to be a new tank that me and Tara are working on.
Oh, yeah.
So all the silicone's out. It took me, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 hours. I just watched Dragon Ball Z lore videos and because I'm a fucking dickhead like that. And yeah, so that's kicking along.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, other than that, man, my hobby has been playing Fortnite.
Yeah, I think it's that time of year where we're probably not feeling very productive and spend more time inside calling the significant other.
I'm feeling very productive, but the problem is my productivity is being wasted on this thing called work. Instead of things that I actually like.
Yeah.
At this time of the year, so give it a little while after the holiday season chills out a bit. I got a few things in the pipeline for next year. I'm hoping come to fruition. So if that's the case,
okay,
life will be a lot easier, a lot better. So we'll see. But for now, it is what it is. Unless you subscribe to our Patreon, so much so we don't have to work anymore, that would be great. Promise. If we can both quit our job, you get an episode a week. I promise.
All for real. I would no longer be strapped down by silly.
Yeah. Even YouTube videos would happen. Hey, Obi. Anyway,
Probably.
After that segue and that shameless plug, let's get on to the subject.
Oh yeah, Poker Man.
Who is a Pokemon? I mean, what is a Pokemon? No, seriously, what is Pokemon?
Well, going back in the good old 90s when we originated from, Pokemon pretty much started out as a video game series for the Game Boy. You know that we have an episode on that on the Game Boy, so go back and get some.
Good episode.
Yeah, really fun episode. So get some information about the Game Boy there, but that was pretty much the start on how it got around. Pretty much soon after, it got more things like the anime came out, which probably drawed in a lot of people. Mangas, trading cards, action figures. Hell, they got cereal, plushies, whatever you can think about. So
Yeah.
there's a few decades of content to go over. So it's gonna be good to explore all the different hobby sides of this.
Pokemon's one of those things that started out as a game and became a full-blown media juggernaut. Like, multimedia, multi-platform, like, everything Pokemon. I remember going to Warner Brothers Movie World over here, which is like a Warner Brothers themed theme park we have here.
Yeah.
And they had a Pokemon store there, right? Because of the movies and that. And I couldn't afford shit because I was a broke-ass kid. But I did get a Mankey straw. Like a silly straw with a Mankey on top of it. And that straw was my favourite straw for years until I lost it when I was drunk.
Yeah.
True story. But yeah, so I'll let you ask the next question, Amy. Go for gold.
Yeah, a little bit of a throwback. How did you get introduced into Pokemon?
Man, so yeah, this is a bit of an old school one, obviously. And for those who don't know, like I came up very much in the poor side of town. I came up, in a shit suburb, with shit scenarios. So I didn't really know about all these things that like the kids in the normal places had, So when we moved from the ghetto to a nicer suburb, basically, like, kids were actually doing kid things instead of trying to beat each other up for their lunch money. Because that's what we used to do.
Yeah.
The old schools. It was like, hey, you give me your fucking money. It was a whole thing. But when I moved, everyone was completely different. They were really friendly. There was the occasional bully, but they were really friendly. And it was my first day, and I go out onto the fucking playground, and I don't know any of these kids there. None of them. But they were walking around pretending. I was 8, right? So kids still walked around pretending they were things.
Yeah.
And basically, the kids were pretending they were Pokemon. Right? And I had never even heard what a Pokemon was. And they were like, hey, do you want to play? And I'm like, sure. Like, how do I play? And they're like, oh, well, I'm this Pokemon. And I'm like, okay, well, who should I be? I don't know them. They're like, well, this guy's Pikachu, this guy's being, Squirtle, and I'm Charmander, so, like, you can be Bulbasaur. I was like, dude, I will be Bulbasaur. Thank you very fucking much. And to this day, what is it, 2023, so that was 1999, so 24 years later, I'm still best friends with one of those kids, my buddy Justin. He was Squirtle, and I was Bulbasaur, and we're still just lifelong friends. It's fucking awesome. So that Pokemon always holds a special place to me because of that. Yeah. And then from there, I learned pretty quickly what the fuck Pokemon was. And a year or two later, for Christmas, because we didn't get things just because we wanted them. It had to be Christmas, right?
Exactly.
You understand that.
Yep.
But for Christmas, my mum managed to get me a Game Boy Color, turquoise one. And we got Pokemon Red from EB Games, pre-owned.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's fucking go, and my mind was just blown. Fucking blown. It wasn't even the greatest game in the world because I had played a PS2 at that point, but I was just like, this is it. I am the Bulbasaur. Yeah. I am him. So
can finally be him.
Yeah, exactly. And as you can see, I'm currently wearing an Ivysaur t-shirt over.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's still your favorite evolution line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you, man? How the fuck did you get into Pokemon? Like, were they talking Sweden and shit at you, or like Belgium when you found them? Were they like, hello, IKEA Pokemon?
No.
Please explain from your side of the pond.
For me, it was pretty much introduced by the TV series is what I got introduced to first. and of course the cards were all the rage back then. So tried to get all my gribbly little hands on them as much as possible, but how it ends up when you buy those little booster packs, you end up just with energy cards and nothing really good. So
I never bought a single Pokemon card.
I think I got most of mine as well as a gift. So yeah, but yeah, there was one memory I have from taking my cars with me to like a daycare center where I was not a regular there, so showing my cards to some people, put them in my backpack, go away and play with the kids, come back to my backpack and see that my cards are gone. So
Oh, dude, we had that as well.
Yeah. It's rough when that happens, especially as you're a kid and you love the thing so much. And like Pokemon was pretty much everything that I was back then, And
yeah, it's your whole personality.
Exactly, it was. And it feels. Yeah.
I was going to say, I was split between Jar Jar Binks and Pokemon. That was all I had.
Yeah. Star Wars and Pokemon were pretty much my personalities. And I feel like that's still a thing that I am today. Like, lately it's been Warhammer, for example. Like, everything revolves around Warhammer for me. Or now it shifted to Harry Potter all of a sudden. So it just shifts, like, my whole personality shifts to that kind of franchise.
Exactly. Get ready for Knights of the Wand Table coming soon.
Yeah.
Not really. We're not doing Harry Potter World. Sorry, Obi.
Okay, so that's fine.
But we might.
But yeah, after it's the same story with me. Like, gifts were only given to you on your birthday and Christmas. So for Christmas, I also got a Game Boy Color, and I don't remember if I got the game with it or not, but I think I borrowed Red from a friend and got Crystal later for myself. So when I finally got my own game, I played that thing pretty much day in, day and night, sitting in the car, waiting for the when it's dark, you're driving, your mom's driving, and you're just sitting in the car waiting for the light. Oh, yeah, I can make a move. Yeah. Make a move for like 3 seconds, wait for the next headlight. Okay, now I can move again.
Man, you never felt anxiety, like leaving a battle, your last Pokemon is poisoned, and you're trying to navigate to the Pokemon Center between traffic lights.
Yeah. That's true anxiety.
True anxiety. The only thing I can think of that equals that is the underwater stages in Sonic. Those things, on par. On par.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, man. I actually have a story about my Pokemon cards being stolen too. So we had a whole folder, of the base set ones, and we had Blastoise, we had, a whole bunch of the really hard to get ones, and one day, we're at the basketball court, me and my older brother, and, kids wanted to look at our folder or whatever, and I just got distracted, because apparently that's the thing I do easily.
Neurodivergent.
And my brother was playing basketball, and basically, I came back and most of our holographics had been stolen.
That's...
Which sucked. I was very upset. I cried my little green fucking 3 eyes out. Yeah. My older brother, was ready to pummel me. He's like, it's fine, I'll steal them back, don't worry. Because he was just gonna go steal the same ones back up on the kids. But back then, no one had Alakazam. I don't know if you remember, but Alakazam was so hard to find. Yeah. We had him holographic in mint condition.
Oh.
And anyway, years tick by, and there's always this mystery of who was there that day? Who stole my Pokemon cards?
Oh.
And I'm talking to one of my best friends, Mikey, about it. Mikey's another guy I've been friends with since grade 4, the year after Justin. And I'm talking to him about it when we're in our 20s.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker's like, give me a second. He starts rooting around in his cupboard, right? Ripping things out and whatnot at his mom's house. and he pulls out my fucking Raichu card
Oh.
that he stole from me that day.
Oh.
That son of a bitch. It was worse than the Horus Heresy. I was so mad. I love that guy so much, but I still hold that grudge. And I will to the day I die. That son of a bitch stole my Raichu.
Oh.
It's such a grudge that even his son knows that he stole my Raichu.
Oh, yeah.
I love you, Mikey, but how dare you steal my cards? And if you know where my Alakazam is, you fucking tell me, alright?
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's rough, man. The theft of the cards.
I don't know why I didn't expect it. Like, it just came from a suburb where everyone steals everything. I don't know why I didn't expect people to steal my Pokemon cards, but yeah, young and dumb, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Alrighty. So, obviously, the video games were a big fucking thing.
Huge.
Like, a big thing.
Huge.
So together with the Game Boys in the 90s, the evolution, like the game evolved with next generations, right? So it wasn't just like, oh, Pokemon 1, 2, 3. They have generations, and with that comes new Pokemon. You know, like new Pokemon, new areas, new badges. You know, and generally speaking, all those early games, especially, they were on fire. And even now, like, Pokemon still sells like fire.
Oh, yeah,
a new game comes out, and even if people complain about it, you only ever hear the complaining, there's still the silent majority that love it. Like, they just eat that shit up.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of generations. Obi and I are going to speed run through them.
Yeah.
One each.
All
I'll
right.
start.
Good.
Alright, so Gen 1, you got red, blue, and green together, and yellow, where you play as Pikachu as the start. Now, these old games, well, not old games, but what they used to do is they do 2 versions usually, and then like a remix of it with extra content.
Yeah.
That's very common with the old generations. So
Yeah.
if you hear us say, yeah, this one, and then like a blit on top, that's usually the extra game.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
the best version to have.
The green one was like a Japan exclusive, right?
Yes. Green. So in Japan, it launched as red and green, I believe.
Yeah, that's
and
correct.
no blue. But I guess no one likes fucking Venusaur because they suck. Because over here it was red or blue, and I think red is the most common because everyone likes Charizard more than Blastoise.
Exactly.
Whatever, you know. So yeah, and yellow isn't very common over here either. Like, it's common still, but not as common because it was like released after.
Yeah. I played yellow actually. So
Did you?
yeah, that was pretty cool because you actually had the Pikachu sprite following you. Oh, look at that! You got green.
It's not. It's actually a bootleg. I just like the cartridge for display.
That's
$12 off AliExpress. And I'm pretty sure the chip inside of it is rewritable, so we can put ROM hacked Pokemon on there if we wanted to. But we would never do that because it's illegal.
Exactly.
Can, not will.
Moving on.
Anyway, speedrun. Let's go.
Gen 2, Gold, Silver, with later on the Crystal version.
Ah, yes. Crystal slaps. I have one of those in my drawer too. You want to see it? Yeah, sweet. So Gen 3 was the first to go to the Game Boy Advance.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm just going to bring that up as we go to new consoles. But Game Boy Advance brought us Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
Exactly.
Ruby and Sapphire, fucking amazing. Anyway, your turn.
Generation 4. Was that still on the Advance, or was that on another console?
No, that was DS.
The DS, alright.
DS.
Diamond and Pearl, and later on, the Platinum came out.
Awesome. So then we have Gen 5, where we have Black and White. And then I think they also did Black and White 2.
Yeah, that's correct.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was still on DS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I believe, yeah.
And I think X and Y was also still DS.
Yeah.
Which is Generation 6. And this
and
is where the point kind of came where they stopped doing these recollections, really, of the previous games and adding more content.
Which sort of sucks.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is when they started to go, hey, what if we just did DLC instead?
Yeah.
And I don't like that as much. I'd rather buy another copy of the game to have on my shelf
Yeah.
than add DLC on. But anyway, Gen 7 is Sun and Moon, which is still DS.
Yeah, but a 3DS, no? Because I think
but still same.
Yeah, still a DS.
Still DS.
Generation 8, Sword and Shield, and that's for the Nintendo Switch, right?
That's Switch, yes. So then you got Gen 9, which is Scarlet and Violet.
The most
recent.
Yeah.
Yeah. On Euro.
Oh, yeah. After that, there was... Well, not really after. It's more of a... There's been like these
while this was happening.
Exactly. Like a bunch of spin-off games that came out during these, like, for the Nintendo N64 and all of there are more stationary game consoles. Games like Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, Mystery Dungeon, Legends of Arceus, Let's Go Pikachu. There's a bunch of spin-off games, really.
Yeah, exactly. Even Pokemon Snap, like the original Pokemon Snap in the N64, that was like a rail shooter with a camera.
Yeah.
It took pictures of Pokemon, but really you were shooting them.
Yeah. Pokemon Go is kind of similar. It's more of a gathering game. Like there's no real combat system in it to gather them, but it's just a catching game. Basically works as the same, I would say.
How funny is it that we didn't even think about Pokemon Go until just now?
Right? And I've been playing Pokemon Go more than any of the other Pokemon games lately.
It's only probably the biggest Pokemon game of all time. We forgot it.
yeah, it's huge. Like people still play it to this day. Like my city has like a dedicated group where they get together for Wednesdays and go out and do raid parties.
That's wild.
I love
that. Yeah, that's cool. You should do it.
I've done a few with my kid.
Fuck it.
It was really awesome.
And then, of course, there is the trading cards. My fucking god, the trading cards. The stories I could tell, and I will. But, to explain it basically, when they bought out, obviously the games now, they decided, hey, let's make a trading card game out of this as well. And they were everywhere. I don't know a single kid from the 90s, like from our generation on, that didn't have Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And even like when you think Pokemon cards are dead, you talk to people like my friend Mikey's son. The kids at school that he was at, they collect Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
he collect Pokemon cards. So I'm like, y'all fucking know about Pokemon cards? How? It's just that big of a thing.
Yeah.
Now, where this comes into the hobby side of it, obviously we have all these video games here that are hobbies. But the collecting of the cards in and of themselves is a massive hobby. So there's the collecting side of it. There's also the playing side of it, and then there's like just the I don't know, how would you even put it? Like people collect just the boxes of them, not even just the cards. They collect box sets and shit. So I'll let you explain though a little bit about the game, Obi. You know that shit pretty well.
Yeah, because I actually learned to play the game to be able to play it with my kid as well. So that was it's pretty good and it's easy to pick up even for a kid who doesn't really know how to read the cards yet. I think he's now at the point where he can read the cards but doesn't really understand them yet. But I just guide him and help him what it says. But he's been playing the same deck the whole time, so he started to recognize what the cards do. So if he plays that card, he can do this move, and he's really good with it too. Like he can obliterate me if he wants to. So, and it's happened a few times where I'm like, "Oh, you son of a bitch! I didn't think you could do that move." It's like, yeah, he's really good with it.
Created a monster.
I have, but it's fun.
But it really is one of those things, right? So all of your cards have stats, right?
Yeah.
Like
the HP stat, like how much health, and then they have like different moves. Oh, usually they have like 2 moves or an ability that you
Yeah.
can use. The moves usually do damage, and either they do like a damaging curse, like a poison damage or a burn damage, or you can put them to sleep and paralyze them. You can flip a coin to see if they get rid of it. The point is
It
basically
really is.
to kill 6 of your opponent's Pokemon to get to get your prize cards and win the game, the match, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And like, there is a lot more to it. Like, we could talk for hours and hours and hours, and we might, about the game a bit more in depth.
Yeah.
But there is that side of it. And then there's the collecting side of it, which is fucking nuts.
Oh, yeah.
There are cards that are worth over $1 million that if you have them in a certain grade, like, they're insane. Like, Logan Paul has one encased in, like, plastic that he wears around his neck every time he comes to the ring in WWE. It's like this bullshit expensive card or whatever. I don't know what one it is, but...
It's a Charizard, isn't it?
Oh. No, it's like a Japanese trainer card of some description that he's been wearing. It's not Charizard. He has that expensive Charizard as well, but I don't think that's what he wears to the ring.
Okay.
But anyway, that sort of shit is so prevalent. Now, I myself... You might remember this, but do you remember when I got the gambling edition to Pokemon cards?
Yeah, that's pretty much when we started hanging out, I think. That's when you spent like $500 on cards.
And the rest.
That was just one evening.
I spent $900 at least in a month, and I was collecting for a good 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
This was like when I was hanging out in the old Lawhammer server. I would buy a Elite Trainer box or two, and my entertainment for the night would be I'd throw my camera on, point it down at my hands, and I'd just open the cards in front of people.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was captivated by it. It was so fun. Like, I know that's a whole content thing on YouTube and shit that people do, but, like, this was different because it was people knew me, and it was fun. We all had that excitement, you know?
Yeah.
And, I ended up stopping because it was becoming an issue. I've improved my relationship with Pokemon now. I can be trusted. Kinda.
Fun story. Like, yesterday I went to a couple of hobby stores, and lo and behold, there were Pokemon cards. I was like, should I just buy like a booster pack? Just, because I'm here, But I ended up didn't do it. I just bought a couple of brushes and some paints and stuff like that. But I was quite tempted to buy a little booster pack.
It's always so tempting, man. I was going to walk away with like a box set of them for $35 that came out the other day. But the people behind me were being very rude and sort of like shoving me along through the line at the checkout.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get a chance to pick it up, examine what I want, and then decide whether to take it or not.
Yeah.
I was like, it's probably for the best. Let's just go back. Tara's like, oh, okay, you sure you don't? I'm like, just leave it. Let's just go. Let's just go.
Because, I mean, the booster packs that aren't expensive either. Like, it's what, $6 or something?
Yeah, well, this was, this pack, I think, had like 6 or 8 boosters in it. You know what I mean? For like $35, $40. And I was like, cool. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go, But it's one of those things, like, I've never struggled in my life with any sort of addiction, like, in terms of gambling. Like, I go to the pub and people playing the poker machines, and I'm like, why would I put money in that when I could go to the bar and 100% get beer for my money? Like, I don't understand this whole we might win a thing when I could just go there and 100% get my reward for my cash.
Yeah.
I don't get gambling. But man, I'll fucking tell you what, that fucking VMAX Charizard in the Evolving Skies, no, not Evolving Skies, Shining Fates.
Yeah.
I tried so hard to get that, man.
Yeah.
So hard. And I never got there. One day I might pick up a booster pack just randomly and be like, oh, is it in there? And maybe I'll get it. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, man. But it's always Charizards that are worth the most.
It's definitely one of those things where, it I don't know, like, addiction to gambling I can kind of understand because you can get a reward there, but when you said alcohol, what happens the day after when you've drank your alcohol?
Yeah, but this is what I mean, though. So, like, in terms of, like, I don't have an addiction to the process of gambling, it's because I don't see the logic in it.
Yeah.
Because I know no matter what, if I go to a store and I want to purchase a thing, I hand them the money, they hand me the thing. There's no chance in that thing.
No.
You know what I mean? Why would I take a chance when I can spend my money on a thing and 100% get a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? I don't understand that, you know?
Mm.
And usually, if I'm at the pub, which I never fucking am, but if I am, it's like, well, do I want to spend this $20 on the poker machine, or do I want to just buy, a Canadian club or a beer, and then fuck off home? The answer is usually always a beer.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of this guy who I could spend $10 on a beer, or I could buy 2 booster packs and actually get something out of it. You know?
Oh, but that's the thing. If there was Pokemon cards at the pub, I would buy the Pokemon cards. That's what I'm saying. This is the loophole.
It's when
Pokemon cards, they're my weakness.
Have you been to these bars where you go into the toilets and there's like a few of those vending machines, and one of them is condoms, and then there's like Pokemon cards? You haven't had that before?
Let me tell you. If that was a real thing,
it is.
I would be in a lot of trouble.
It is. It was in
mean?
Belgium. Like, it was like one of.
What?
Yeah, for real. There was
way.
in a pub you could buy Pokemon cards, man. It was.
I would live in that goddamn pub, man. I would be in so much trouble.
Oh man,
I must never know its location for the good of humanity.
Yeah, definitely, it's definitely a thing in Belgium. I recall being able to select one of those, because it's like, keep your kids busy while you're taking a piss, you know. Here, just go get a card.
Well, you see, if you were really smart, you'd use the first vending machine to prevent you needing the second.
Yeah.
You're picking up what I'm putting down, boy?
Fair enough. Yeah. No, it's good.
Fuck.
Cards is definitely a huge thing, and I said, I bought a deck myself to be able to play against my kid. My kid has like 2 decks himself and a bunch of booster cards. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I've thought about buying like the actual playable decks for Tara and I.
Yeah,
and her and I just like playing it together.
Yeah,
not like collecting the cards booster packs, but just like, hey, let's go pick out a deck each and let's like have a weekend of playing Pokemon cards.
For real.
Is that because she used to play Yu-Gi-Oh?
But then she knows how to play the card game anyway, so might
exactly.
as well.
It's similar thing.
Yeah,
you know,
very much. Yeah,
similar card games all sort of be similar-ish anyway.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, like Pokemon are similar to Hearthstone. Hearthstone is similar to Magic the Gathering. They're all similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not saying they have the same rules or they're not their own unique thing, because they are.
They're still.
But if you get one, you can learn the other.
Yeah, definitely. I think Magic is probably the hardest one to learn, but if you know Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, you could probably just as well learn Magic.
Yeah, look, dude, if you can learn Warhammer, you can learn anything.
I can. It's just that the rules change every 2 minutes, so it's quite hard to keep up.
Obi, that's why you just play by the old rules and stick with those for years.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
Should know anything. Alright, so I'm gonna let you take this one.
So, besides the video games and the cards, which are pretty much the biggest driving forces of this franchise, there's also a bunch of other random stuff pretty much related to Pokemon that you can collect. There's coins, there's plushies. I think my kid has a Charizard and one of the later gen water types. I don't remember which one it is anymore. I used to have
let's just call him Bubble Guy.
I'm not sure which one it is.
Sure,
I don't
that's
remember
his name. Sure it is.
I don't remember. I used to have a Psyduck and a Pikachu, and when you'd squeeze them, they would talk.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I know Bowen, in his car, hanging from his rearview mirror, he has Poochita from Chainsaw Man, and he has Typhlosion.
Yeah.
He want to have a claw machine, so
nice.
Shout out to Bowen the Bald Man. They also do licensed board games. So things like Monopoly and stuff like that.
Mm.
So, like, I actually had the original 1999 version of Pokemon Monopoly.
Oh, dope.
I had that, yeah. My little brother, Shane, found it while he was out off shopping and gifted it to me. It's only missing, like, one piece for the
That's
player
dope.
thing. Everything else is, yeah. It's, like, 99% complete. But they do a heap of that. They did reissue that as well with a later version.
Yeah.
So it's not like the original, but, yeah, the original's fucking cooler, of course. Because it's old and it has that 90-ness about it.
Yeah.
They also do model kits by
Yeah.
Bandai.
Yeah, I've done a few.
Yeah, so yeah, you've done a few. I bought a few for Tara that are in the cover that she's gonna get into as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
How do you find them as model kits? Are they decent?
they're pretty okay, really. They're pretty straightforward, pretty easy usually. These are the ones that you can actually don't need the nippers for, but I suggest you do it anyway, just to do it cleanly. You don't rip them off, rip a little piece of plastic off.
It's good practice to use nippers.
Yeah, and I did that straight away with my kid. Like, here's a pair of nippers so you can do it the correct way, you heretic.
Yeah, don't learn from Uncle Blake.
No, but we did Mewtwo, Lugia, there's a Charizard and a Dragonite that we built. So
I feel like you were unbelievably close to calling him Ohio, and that's hilarious to me.
Ohio.
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 Ohio. I think that's a place in America.
Ew. No, I didn't say that. I love Americans. Sub Adam.
Oh, jeez. Only the ones that subscribe to our Patreon.
Exactly. Those are the best.
They're the best Americans. See, we can be capitalists too. Anyway. Anyway. Sorry, guys. Yeah, and they also do, like basically anything you can think of. They do Pokemon, like, anything.
Yeah.
Anything nearly. Like, there's even Pokemon sex toys. They're not officially licensed, but I've seen them.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen Pikachu butt plugs on the internet. They exist.
They're there. I would say lunchboxes and clothes would probably be more searched for, but there's definitely the R32 section of Pokemon.
Exactly. Did you ever try the Pokemon cereal?
No, they didn't. They didn't have them in Europe.
Oh my god! So it was like, I don't know how to describe it. It
was
like just like a normal, like, I guess it was like Fruit Loops sort of thing, but with Pokemon marshmallows in it.
Yeah, I remember them. We had them.
See? You did have them.
Yeah.
I'm Googling them. Hold on.
Yeah, we like the mushy things. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah, dude.
$85 on eBay? Jesus.
That's a lot of money for stale cereal.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was made by Kellogg's. There you go.
Yeah,
So it's basically Cheerios, like those the honey Cheerios. Basically those with fucking
the marshmallow stuff in it. Yeah, that was.
No, those look sick though.
Yeah, they were.
I don't know what that is.
I don't
Sweetened corn puffs with marshmallow. That was like a very American thing. I mean,
yeah, they were
shit.
really sweet. Yeah, I remember them. Jesus Christ, that was a long time.
I don't know why they don't still make Pokemon cereal. Like, I feel like kids would still go nuts for that.
Probably.
Maybe it's the diabetes.
Well, sorry, kid.
Sorry, kid, but here's your insulin.
Yeah.
That's
a blast from the past. Jesus, I didn't even remember that I had them until you said the marshmallows.
Dude, did you have Pokemon Tazos? Or not Tazos, 3D things? Did you ever see those? They came in chips here.
Oh, it rings a bell.
So we had these, like, Pokemon 3D chip.
I remember something with them because they were like in like McDonald's thingies.
Cool.
Yeah, and the chips.
No, these were from Chips, yeah. What are they called? Stadium Action 3D cards. Google that. Pokemon. Yeah, so these were huge here, man. Like, blood was shed over these things, you know? And, like, they're really cool little things. Like, obviously they're not really that cool. They're not worth much, but I think they're cool. Because you move them and the little 3D model goes like fucking...
Yeah.
You know? That's the fucking hardest shit out, man. Like, Pikachu headbangs when you move him. He's like... You know? You just know he's throwing down to some fucking electric callboy or something, you know?
Oh, man. That's great.
Yeah, Pikachu's got the moves. But yeah, they were cool as fuck too, man. Cool as fuck.
I remember I used to have a bunch of these small figurines, Pokemon figurines. I collected those.
Well, I think I still have some. I think I got a Charmander of a geocache one time.
Yeah. I had like the whole Golem or the Geodude the evolution line.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Cool, yeah. That's dope. Another cool thing they do as well, quite a lot, that are getting, I guess not really collectible unless you're Tara, but they do bags and stuff like that. Zing. Right? Which Zing is like a pop culture store here. And they do like, I don't know what brand it is, but they make these cute backpacks of different like licensed properties. So like she has like a Hufflepuff one, a couple of Winnie the Pooh ones, and you can also get like subtly themed Pokemon ones. So like it might be an Eevee themed bag with like a brown lid on it, and also like Pokemon in gold on like a little plaque, and then it'll be like white with like little Eevee heads all over it. And you won't notice unless you look real close, but it's like it just shows that you like Pokemon, but without being like, oh, Pokemon, you know. So it's really cool. It's really cool, and if you live in Japan, I imagine Pokemon is even way more of a thing. Like everything I've watched on the internet, like they have Pokemon centers everywhere. They have fucking like all the shit in there.
Did you have a Pokédex?
I'm so keen to go there. I never did. I was way too poor, but I wanted one so much. The little flip open one. Yeah. Do you know how much those are worth now?
I didn't have one, but I know a guy that had one. I was very jealous of it. I know a
guy.
Oh, so jealous.
Hold on, let's see how much they are.
Oh.
Maybe I'll 3D print a Pokédex.
Oh, that would be cool.
I'll send it to you. I'll send you one. Fine. $169 with 10 people watching on eBay.
Oh.
Yeah. Wild. I don't even know what it does, but fuck me dead, did I need one.
Right. I think it was also like one of these collected, like a Tamagotchi thing, right?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I have the Pokewalkers from Soul Silver.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing we forgot to mention, actually. They've done remakes of a lot of the generations as well. So, like, they've done... the first gen's been remade, I think, twice now. The Soul Silver and Heart Gold were remakes of Silver and Gold. They did like Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and I think they just did Diamond and Pearl recently as well. Yeah, I don't know if you know about those, but Soul Silver is one of my favorite Pokemon games. Yeah. Like, it's so good because when you finish it, you get to go to Kanto as well and like have fun with all those Pokemon, which is cool as fuck.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, no, man. Pokemon's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah, it's huge. Here's a good question for you. Top 3 Pokemon. I know the number 1 is Venusaur. But
yes, everyone knows Venusaur is my favorite Pokemon. I make that very known.
Yeah.
It's because, I relate to him. He's a big toad with some lettuce on his back. I think all of us feel like toads with lettuce on their back some days,
Yeah.
Take from that what you will. I think number 2 would probably be... maybe Tyranitar? And number 3 would probably be Arcanine.
Oh, yeah, Arcanine's a good one.
Yeah. I actually bought an art print at the hobby convention. that someone did of like Japanese style artwork, but Arcanines dueling each other over water. I'll send you a picture when I find it. It's dope as fuck.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honorable mention, Gyarados. Anyway, what about you?
Number 1 is Haunter for me. He's always been kind of
Haunter?
special.
Yeah.
Haunter.
For those that speak like an Australian, he means haunter, not hunter. Haunter.
Then number 2 would be Houndoom.
Oh, Death Metal Dog. I love that.
Yeah. And the third would either be Typhlosion or Mew.
Mew, not Mewtwo?
Yeah, I think I like Mew more.
Oh, contentious. But it's your opinion, and you are entitled to it.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, you're wrong, but like, you can have that. Nah, seriously. Nah, Mew's cool. I really like. I can't say they're my favorite because they're sort of useless, but I love shit like random motherfuckers like Kabutops.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like this weird fucking like horseshoe crab scyther motherfucker. Like, I don't know what's up with him.
Yeah,
like,
Omanite used to be one of my favorites too.
Aerodactyl?
Yeah.
We should have got an evolution for Aerodactyl, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, hear me out. A bigger version of Aerodactyl called Aeroquetzal.
With 4 wings.
Right? And bigger. Because, like, Quetzalcoatlus is, the biggest flying reptile we've found.
Yeah.
So, Aerodactyl, Aeroquetzal.
Yeah.
Done. You're welcome, Pokemon Company. I'll accept my check in the mail.
Perfect. That was good.
Excellent. But yeah, man, I think that does it for Pokemon, to be honest. Like, we have a blast talking about it, and like, you probably notice every time we do a retro games episode, Pokemon comes up. Like, no matter what, it's like, oh yeah, Pokemon. Because it's such a big part of our lives. And I think that we will take the opportunity to cover at least the card game again in like an in-depth episode at some point. In a while.
Yeah.
Soon. But yeah. You got any more to say on Pokemon, my man?
No. If you haven't tried it, definitely do. I think one of the newer games, if they're great games. So give it a
yeah. And if
try.
that doesn't tickle your fancy, jump on YouTube and look up Pokemon card opening videos. And you tell me that in a week you're not out there trying to blow your fucking paycheck on Pokemon cards. You will be.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Definitely. Cool. Alright, that was Pokemon
Awesome.
for us then.
Well, I'm also going to let you intro this thing. The next thing, because it's your thing this time, not my thing.
Yeah, a thing that I totally did not forget about.
You shouldn't have. It was your thing.
Yeah. All right, it's our favorite part of the episode where we talk about music for the next 20 minutes.
Exactly. The goblins have come marching through our brain with sounds to listen to and rejoice or bemoan, and this is where we're at.
Yar.
So who are we talking about today, Obi? What do we got?
It's a band that's been pretty big for me. Called Slowmatics. They've released a new album called Strontium Fields.
Yeah, not Scrotum Fields. It just looks like that was written down.
Yeah. Exactly. No, but Slowmatics have been a band that I've followed a little bit closer. Like, I've sent message to their guitarists. There are 2 guitarists in the band. And they even offered me to buy some of their pedals, and I was like, oh, I'm so tempted. It's like, but I didn't do it. Ended up doing a little bit of covers on Instagram for some of their songs too. So they were pretty good guys, nice guys.
Pretty chill dudes. I like that.
Yeah.
It always makes you like a band a bit more when they're real chill like that.
Yeah. And when they interact with their fans as well, like doom metal bands, especially like these type of doom metal bands, are very, very niche. So their following is quite quite small, but
Small. Yeah.
they're getting there. Their albums are getting a little bit better. The sound mixes and everything is getting better. However, I will say in this album, the vocals are a little bit.
That's what I was going to touch on, because, like, I'll go first, I guess, because this is how we normally do it. Whoever assigns it doesn't assign it goes first. For me, I'm a big Black Sabbath fan, right? Like, you know that about me, so, like, that is doom metal. That's where doom metal comes from.
Yeah.
They sort of took that, so it's, like, very Black Sabbath oriented. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as doom metal goes, I really like My Dying Bride's latest stuff, like the 2020 album they did.
Yeah.
I love that shit. And I like some of the shit you showed me as well. It's pretty cool. This, for me, I listened to it and I'm like, okay, I love the guitar tone. That sounds fucking mint. And then the vocals came in and I'm like, they're not bad. But they fall into that pitfall that I expect from very old music. And that is that the level is so low that it sounds like the vocalist is down the road shouting it to you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want to hear this bloke. Like, I understand it's supposed to give a certain mood, but, like, if I could actually hear him bumped up in the mix, it would be much better. Like, he does a pretty good job. He sounds a bit like Ozzy Osbourne, if I'm perfectly honest. Like, he has that style about him. And it's not bad vocals, but the mixing on it is atrocious for the vocals for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost a game killer. But I think they had a lot to offer. I think the album was good. Not really my pace, because as you know, ADHD brain goes, I like really fast, entertaining music.
Yeah.
I'm all about that energy, but I've put it on a few times while I'm gaming, and it's sort of good to just have, like, off in the background.
Yeah.
While I'm chilling, because it keeps me calm and it doesn't let me fucking lose my bananas and shit. So,
or your rings.
Yeah, exactly. Were you here when I finished Sonic 1? That was wild. I
don't think I was there.
I've never done it before, and then I was like, I'm the champion! Anyway, so, like, I think for what it is, it's a good album. Apart from that vocal mixing. It's the only thing that makes me go, this isn't really for me. That being said, I would still probably give it at least a solid 6 goblins out of 10. Because I'm a firm believer that even if you're not into the music you're listening to, you're going to ask the question, what is this band's motive with this piece?
Yeah.
And do you, like, what are they trying to make you feel? And do you feel that?
Yeah.
Because if you do, then that means that the art was effective. It doesn't mean you're going to like it, but it means that they did what they set out to do with that piece.
Yeah.
And, like, you definitely do get those sort of, like, foreboding, doomy vibes off. Like, that vibe is on point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would just love to hear vocals that sound better mixed. I would love to hear maybe some harsh vocals in there. I don't know if you've listened to, the My Dying Bride album that I'm talking about, which I can't remember right now. Hold up, I'll look it up. I'll get you to look at it just for fun. Because I'd never heard of them, and it just came up on there when I was listening to doom metal. Ghost of Orion from 2020.
Okay, I'll give that a listen.
And they do like those sort of doom metal-y vocals, but then they have like a bit of a death metal vocal occasionally.
Yeah.
Like just really low, in there, and it's like, it feels like an apocalypse, man. And I think that's what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I think these guys did a good job. Still. Like, Slamatics did a good job. Fucking good work. And hearing that they're nice to their fans makes me like it even more. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 goblins.
Oh, fair enough.
6.
Yeah.
Would listen to it again. Have no issue ever listening to it again. Just not necessarily my cup of tea because I like to go fast.
Yeah. That's a very slow-paced band. If you would tune your guitar to their tuning, you would probably be able to play their songs, any other songs, within an hour of it.
Power chord.
Yeah. It's
not complex.
It's not complex music, but it brings a good vibe, and like you said, the tone of the guitars are on point. So good. Really good.
I think that's what made the vocals feel so much more disappointing.
Yeah.
Is because the drums and the bass and the guitar, if there even is bass, I can't make it out. But it's so thick and so on point that the vocals just don't fit, if that makes sense.
Yeah. To tell you about the composition of the band is 2 guitarists tuned to like a weird F tuning. Very weird tuning.
Okay.
And the drummer who is singing in the band. So it kind of explains a little bit about why the vocals can sometimes feel a little bit out of place. But
it does, but you'd hope that if he's good enough to sing while drumming, while he's just singing in the studio, he'd really knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
You would hope.
Live, I think is real good. Live, they're good, but
okay.
Yeah, I definitely recommend future Echo returns. It's a little bit more faster pace, and the guitars are still really good on point. Their sound, but this album it got I don't know. It's not really any song I can pick out from here that are like, yeah, I'll put this on a couple more times and listen to it on repeat, but it doesn't have. So
it was a bit average for you as well. Like it didn't punch your teeth out.
Quite average.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like the guitar work's still really good. Yeah. But yeah, nothing special.
Here's the thing though, every band has an average album, right? Like most bands have that album where you're like, that's okay. But it's not what I expected from them. Like, even Korn has albums where you're like, I don't know about this. Only 1 or 2, but they're one of the best bands in the world as far as I'm concerned. Korn are amazing.
Yeah.
And, Korn 3 is so average, I just don't listen to it.
Yeah.
So maybe this is that album. Maybe their next album's going to knock your teeth out. I hope it does for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even the Monomart's most recent one was pretty average for me.
Yeah.
It's like 2 good songs in there, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just the one that they released earlier, I Neanderthal, was probably their best one from the whole album. But other than that, it didn't spark any interest. The first time I heard it, I did want to tune my guitar back to their tuning and just jam along. But I didn't end up doing that and just, drifted away because it wasn't a memorable album at all.
I think I liked Conan more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, that's just a non-doom metal guy giving his opinion.
Yeah.
How many goblins out of 10 would you give it?
Probably 6.5 for me as well. Quite forgettable.
Okay.
Yeah. Not the greatest, but still good composition besides the vocals. I think the vocals were really dragged it down on this one for me.
I think so too. It was, a shame, really. But, it exists. It's cool.
Yeah.
Now, on to our next thing.
Ho-ho.
If you're done with music. Although I will say, actually, before we go any further, Spirit Box put out an EP, which I'm pretty excited for.
Oh, okay.
I like Spirit Box a lot. They're brilliant. I've listened to it. Yeah, we might roll it into next episode.
Yeah.
Because it's just a few tracks. I got something else I want to show you as well, but we'll, I think, probably roll that in.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's pretty tight.
Cool.
Next thing, though, is our roasts.
Ooh.
Good thing about not having an episode for a little while. We got some fucking Sunday roast to carve up right now, baby.
Oh, yeah. We got
about
4 to go through.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's have a little bit of fun. And, just remember, I will never dunk on your models unless you put them in my roast page. If you do, I'm going to give you fucking shit about it. So, prepare your anuses, motherfucker. Alright, Obi, our first one.
Mr. Gerald. Yeah, he'll be coming up a few more times in the episode, but Gerald posted a picture of a Primaris Marine painted from the Rogue Trader era. I think it's a Howling Griffin. Howling Griffin.
Yeah, Howling Griffins.
So what the color scheme is basically just like sort of lava-ish with black speckles on it. And I don't know. You want to give this a go first, or shall I?
Oh, I'll tell you what. You go first because I got some mean stuff to say.
You put on a transfer. That's great, but like comparing the transfer to the rest of the model, it's just too clean. Like at least blend in the transfer a little bit. The transfers on is put on good though, so that's plus points for that. Clean lines. You didn't screw up too many times on putting paint where it's not supposed to be, so that's also a plus point. Like paint separation. I mean, like the trim of the shoulder pad is painted well all the way. However,
You think so? I think that's what I'm taking issue with.
I think that's pretty alright. But I would say, in the big scheme of things, the way you painted this is too little blends. And the way I would have solved that is sponging it on instead of using paint brushes. So if you would have sponged it and gradually go up from yellow to reds, I think you would have gotten a much better result out of it. And use brown tones instead of black for the speckles. I think that would have. Not
just that. I think making the speckles significantly smaller would have made them look less leopard print.
Yeah.
Like make them, because if you look at the artwork he's put accompanying it, they're quite small speckles.
Yeah.
Versus this looks like almost cow pattern in some places.
Yeah.
Just a Sharpie would have probably done it too. Just a dot, and then you could have filled it in a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for this, definitely using a sponge would have 100%. Given a better result.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that a lot of hobbyists are scared of sponges because they get stubborn and think that everything has to be done with a brush.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. Like, if you had to just grab this motherfucker, base coated him in yellow, and then sponged on some orange into some darker colours, probably would have gone great, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think
then you can do touch-ups with the brush.
Yeah, I think that's how I would have done it at least. Like, use the sponge. And I'm not afraid of using sponges on my models, like to do chipping and all that stuff. I painted my knights all with sponges, so...
Yeah. My Land Rover I'm working on, the purple gradients and that are done with sponges.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't be bothered blending on large flat surfaces, so I just sponged it.
Yeah.
Like,
works out great.
Looks effective.
Alright.
I do have some burning questions about this model. I want to know why the base that he's on looks like a urinal cake. Like, and if not, why is it so blue? Like, what's going on in this planet? And like, once again, you put this up for roast, and this is on you. It looks like a urinal cake to me. I can't get that out of my head. The other thing too, like, your weapon is very well painted. I love the color choices.
Yeah.
Looks amazing. Your chest, your Aquila looks great. Same thing Obi said about the actual oranges and that. The line down his head, if you can't paint straight lines, brother, it's okay. Just, when you've done it, let it dry and get yourself some fucking thin masking tape, bro. And mask it off and do it with a sponge. And then, you can go in with a brush and you can actually crispen it up. If you can't, you don't feel like you have to freehand just because it says you have to freehand. Once you get that confidence you can nail it, go for gold. But, and the freehand Griffin you did pretty good on.
Yeah.
But man, I think it would have looked better without it than with it. You know what I mean? People are still going to look at that painter and go, oh, that's the Howling Griffins. Like, they're going to get what it is. Like, you could have just painted a really nice, crisp shoulder pad there, and it would have been amazing. Now, the problem is, I think, like, kudos for giving it a crack, because you did a better job at it than what I would. But because you've done the transfer on the other shoulder that is so straight and so neat, it makes all of your other lines look so wobbly. Right? So, like, you got a transfer on the right shoulder, which is so straight and neat, and then your griffin you can tell is hand-painted. And your line on your face you can tell is hand-painted. You know what I mean? So, like, it makes this juxtaposition that shows the flaws more.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You know, but besides that, I think it does look great. Like, I'll get a shit to you because you put it in there. It's your own fault. But I like the green eyes, and I think that if you did a more solid coat of lead belcher on the shoulder pads, and then gave it a more dynamic highlight towards the edges, I think that would look fucking beast. Well done. Good model, but you put it here, so you get what you deserve.
Yeah. It's, I think when reading through the thread, Delish Fish kind of ripped you a new one there as well, and I think a lot of his points do make sense, but definitely one of his suggestions is a wet palette, and I highly suggest that just to thin your paints a little bit more. However, for this color scheme, I would definitely use sponges thinned with thin paint, just to get those gradients a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I only thin paints when I feel like they need it, and a lot of the time they don't need it here in Australia.
Yeah.
But I still use a wet palette, so it's always a little bit thinned, you know?
Yeah.
And if you don't have a wet palette, you don't have the money, just get yourself a plate, and then thin it there a little.
Yeah,
you know,
ceramic plate.
Ceramic plate, yep.
Mm.
Alright, who we got next, bro?
Mr. Slappydoo, he posted a Tau drone.
Alright. Interesting. So I'm looking at that, and like it's hard to say because it's just one angle on a drone. I really like the navy sort of blue with the khaki green. I think that looks good, but I don't like that antenna being red. That is a big bugbear for me, right? Like, that to me says, hello, I'm on a battlefield, shoot me, snipe me from a kilometer away. You know, like, those navy and khaki tones scream tactical, like, Ghost Division sort of shit to me. So, I reckon if you had done it, if you wanted a different colour for it to stand out, had you have done it something a bit less egregious, I think that would really set it off. No problem with the execution, because it's a drone, they're not hard to fucking do.
Yeah.
And good work on thinning your paints. It is an improvement. Very proud, Slappy.
Mm-hmm.
Wet palette, good work. But for my money, that antenna, if I was going to paint it a colour other than my navy blue and my khaki green, I would have painted it. I would have painted, if I had to choose a third colour, I probably would have painted it that original Tau ochre colour. From, like, you know, to sort of bring it that Tau vibe. Because, like, for me, when I get into the hobby, Tau with this brown ochre colour, not white.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but that was the colour Tau were, and that to me is iconic. So that would be like a love letter to that. Alternatively, it comes in nice sections. It's got like nice panel lines.
Mm-hmm.
You could have still painted, you know, say the bottom panel that goes in the L shape. You could have painted that in the blue and then done the squared section in the green, and it would have still made nice colour separation.
Yeah.
You know, just think of what a Gundam looks like.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah. And then use like a very flowing enamel paint panel liner to dot that in and let it... That would have finished it up really good.
And if you're going to do Tau, get yourself some Tamiya panel liner.
Yep, 100%. That's the way to go for these.
Yeah. 100%.
I think painting-wise, I don't really have much to go on besides I think you primed it a little bit too hard. I think you primed it in white, so it came out chalky. So don't prime white. Never. Unless you own an airbrush. Because the white...
Or contrast paints.
Yeah. The white from Citadel, Army Painted are all going to come out chunky as fuck. Or chalky even.
Chalky.
Yeah, they leave a really bad texture. I've never had a good result with white spray paints, ever. And I think this suffers a little bit from that. I think if you would have done it just Chaos Black, A good tip for spray paints is put your can in hot water before you spray. Leave it in there for 2-3 minutes until it gets like pretty warm in the bottle. Then shake the paint can for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then you spray. So then it.
Or just do what I do: live in Australia and leave your cans outside in the sun.
Yeah, well, for us people who don't have blistering heat to work with, aka us in winter times, because that's what I did anyway when it was winter. Like, put them in warm water, shake them for 2-3 minutes, and spray, and it's fine. Never had an issue with it.
And the best thing is, you can cook hot dogs and then put your water in it, and you get to eat a lunch while you wait for the paint to warm up. It's the perfect plan.
Yeah. Other than that,
this is foolproof.
That's what I got. Don't use white primer. It's shocky.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
The paint got thinned really good, but the chalky primer is kind of what set you up to fail here.
But yeah, keep at it, man. You're doing good.
Yeah.
Well done.
Cool.
Yeah, and like I will say, we are roasting people, right? Because they asked for it. But even though we're giving you shit, we want everyone to keep going at what they're doing. Like, you guys are doing great.
Yeah.
It's just you're putting them there for us to talk shit about, you know? Like,
yeah.
We gotta do our job here.
And we'll always try and give you tips to improve the next time you do something.
100%.
So
100%.
We want you to improve. We're not saying stuff to be mean or be assholes. It's just pointing out the things that we can see that can be improved.
Exactly. Alrighty, I'll let you announce the next one.
Mr. Bixa. He posted up a converted Tech Marine. Grey Knight's Tech
Grey
Marine.
Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, not too terrible.
I'll let you give your opinion first, I think.
Alright. Yeah. It's kind of very, very monochromatic, even though you've used a lot of different paints. But like the silver could have used a touch more of a hint of another color. Maybe do another wash over it before. The color separation on things, like you painted some bronze details there. Go back with the silver if you've screwed up. Like it doesn't take a lot of extra effort to do just to fix it up, because like the big thing with models is like when you get to do the paint separation thing very good, then you're like pretty much all the way there. If you slap a wash all over that thing, they'll all bring it all together. But it starts with
a proper base coat.
The base coating.
A proper base coat will take you further than any form of edge highlighting or dry brushing.
Exactly. And just staying clean as much as possible. Like the way that I usually work through models is that I'll base coat everything before I start doing washes and highlights. So you're sure that you've separated all of the colors as well as possible, and you've done all the paint corrections of your mistakes. I think that's the golden way to paint models anyway. Take the big portion of the main color first, paint in your details, go back and clean up those details, then do the washes and highlights. I think that's my biggest gripe with this model, is that you didn't go back and clean up the model. Other than that, I like that you kit bashed the bolter into it, the helmet, and the shoulder pad. Also added a nice tilt plate. The kit bashed wise, it's a really cool model. Paint job.
It's so cool that I didn't even know that it was kit bashed.
Yeah, it looks. I
didn't know.
Exactly. That's how well it works together. So, the model is really cool. I think you've chosen the right colors. Just you should have cleaned them up a little bit more. A cool tip I've seen for Grey Knights is basing them silver, and then go over the gold with a contrast paint, and then use the washes all over it, and that'll help you out a little bit. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Besides that, I don't got much more to go for you.
Alright. Now I think for me, where I can see some classic Bixiners here, and then is you put in a lot of effort into converting it, and then you go, "I'll sod it. That's enough. I've put enough effort into this, right?" And unfortunately, you've put in so much effort that's like it's fallen short because you didn't put in as much effort into the painting as you did into the converting and that, or you lost interest a bit, or whatever. Like, my biggest thing I can see is there's a lack of contrast in your shit. So, like, your handle of the weapon, all that needed was a bit of a Reikland flesh shade, right? Just like my Stormcast Turtles recipe. Screen of pink, Reikland flesh shade, done. Give it a bit of a dry brush, right? All your silvers, I find that if I'm doing lead belcher, Null Oil isn't dark enough for me to get the edge highlighting I want and to be able to bring it back up with a nice dry brush. What I would have done is I would have done it in lead belcher and then I would have hit it with watered down black as a wash over the whole thing, and then I would have come back with a dry brush and dry brush Runefang Steel over all of it. Right? So what that does is, like, obviously it doesn't give you a uniform lead belcher. It gives you, like, spots that are really dark, and then it gives you, like, all the high points have, like, wear and tear on them. Like, they've been worn clean, which is what you want. Your reds as well, your shield and that look amazing. But on your bolter, it's a big, large, flat surface, so you notice the lack of contrast. Corn red and then edge highlights, like, even if they're not, like, super tight, but, like, edge highlights and then a bit of the gun in that red would have conveyed the same language of it being that colour, but it would have given more contrast. Your brass on the ammo feed thing. You could have literally started with a dark colour or washed it down and then dry brushed or edge highlighted the brass with the light source. Would be like, you could have taken this to 10 and it would have been a 10 model because you did such a good job converting it.
Yeah.
But besides that, it looks good. I do have questions about the blood. Don't they normally fight demons? Do demons have blood? I'm not sure. Because they're not material, right?
Anything bleeds, doesn't it?
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, that was just a lore question. But the other thing is, I like your spell tone on the snow. But if I was you, when I'm doing snow bases, I add a little bit of extra colours in there. Because if you look at snow, the moment it's been stood on, it goes a slightly different colour. Right? You get like that sort of bit of grey sludge in there and that sort of stuff. And on a battlefield, that's how it would look. Or if you want to look like unspoilt wilderness, you do a little bit of like icy blues. Just a stipple with a dry brush here and there to give it a bit more than just powder look.
Yeah. There's some really good contrast paints that do icy colours.
I think Slappy did one just the other day that I told him about. Like I was saying that I use like a light blue.
Yeah.
He took the idea and he ran with it. It looked great. So your basing is good and it is imaginative. I just wish there was a little bit more to look at there. And for fuck's sake, paint your room black.
Yeah. He said I'll room the base when the snow is dry, so I hope he did.
Oh, cool, okay. I hope he did too. But look, Bixer, 10 out of 10 for the conversion, bro. But I'd just love to see you put the same effort you did into the blood and into the good parts of it into the whole model. Don't just half-ass it, man. You know? Like, you did good though. Better than normal. He doesn't have mustard on his chest. I'm very impressed.
There it is. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, overall it's a better effort than the previous stuff that we've seen from Pixar. But the only thing I would say is clean up the base coats, and then I think you're setting yourself up way better.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so our next one is from a dude called Techomania.
Yeah.
And he's given us this, I don't know what it actually is. It might be an assassin, but to me it looks like a Green Goblin from Spider-Man.
It's the Averser Assassin, I think, his name is.
Okay, but he's painted him like the Green Goblin.
Yeah, and I love that.
I appreciate that. Now, my biggest criticism with this is you make me want to quit Warhammer. You fucking jerk. Like, you have no business being that good at painting. No, seriously. Well done. go outside and touch grass, but well done. I got nothing to pick on this model. I couldn't do it myself. I think maybe I'd like to see some slightly brighter green on the very high parts of the legs.
Yeah.
But that's just because I have an absurdly high contrast liking. Like, I like shit to look like comic books.
Yeah.
You have your own style, but touch grass, Takamania. Touch grass, brother.
Yeah. He has this very distinct style of painting. Like, any models you'll see from this guy, you'll be able to show that's Tekimania. And I really like that. When you've discovered your own sense of painting and your own style, when people can immediately recognize it, and he's got that going for him, and this model is no exception. If I give one piece of criticism, is probably blending it a little bit more, either bringing all those highlights together with one uniform wash over, and then just doing a point highlight over it as a final touch-up. But otherwise, this is incredible. I
actually like it better the way it is, because it looks more like a comic book thing.
Yeah.
Like a cartoon thing.
Yeah. For that, it would definitely work out. If this would have been like Marvel Protocol models, super sick, dope ass, immediately would have been great. But
I mean, you know, my style leads towards cell shaded anyway. Like, that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I like big contrast because you can see what it is. The reason I love that sort of shit is because, like, from 3 feet away from the table, you can tell that contrast is there. Like, it telegraphs well.
Yeah.
Whereas people aren't going to be picking up my models and rotating them, so mine might look a little ugly to the camera sometimes, but at gameplay distance, they look so striking, and I think that is a good example of that too. Fantastic. So
great job.
Well done, motherfucker.
9.5 out of 10. I don't think I would have been able to paint it better myself.
No, I do agree with Jar Jar Binks and the from Gerald. I give up. I agree with that. It's luckily we made a podcast that's about not comparing yourself to others and giving up. Otherwise, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
Exactly. No, that's cool. Real good stuff.
Awesome. Well done, guys. Golf clap. You can't hear it because I want to ruin Ober's audio, but golf clap. Alright. On to the next thing. I'll let you do this one, Obi.
Yeah, I think before we get to our Patreons, I kind of want to give Gerald a shout out beforehand. He has started a lore-based podcast for Warhammer Fantasy, Old World, and probably a little bit of Age of Sigmar. And I've been a guest on their show, so definitely go and give them a listen. That's why I said I stumbled in on a tavern on the way earlier this episode, because they refer to their podcast as a tavern where they discuss stuff. So
so we have a table, they have a tavern.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe our table is in the tavern.
Producers. How did we only get a table and they get a whole tavern?
Yeah. No, it was awesome.
Is that table inside of a hobby castle? Anyway.
No, it was real good. Great fun. Give them a listen. Gerald's a great guy, and Ray is very knowledgeable in Warhammer Fantasy. So
I tell you what, man, I get their first episode and listen just like because I heard about it, and like I was listening to it and I was comparing it directly to like our first episode, right? Because like this shit's not as easy as you think.
No.
And like those boys did so good, and I did flick Gerald some tips for like what I think he could improve on. And he's like, dude, we've already started doing that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, thank you so much. And like, I wasn't trying to be a dick, but like, he asked, you know?
Yeah.
He asked my opinion, so I gave it honestly. And you know me, I'm a straight shooter, but very entertaining. Very entertaining. And fucking good guys. I haven't met his co-host, but I've spoken to Gerald, and he's a lovely dude.
Yeah.
Like, fucking lovely guy. So, if you're after something to fill that sort of lore niche, you know, and like, we only put out one episode a month, so if you're up to date on us, give them a listen, man, because they're cool guys, and they're not annoying Americans.
No, I think Ray's Canadian.
Are they Americans? So. Oh, there you go. Even better. I know one of them's American.
Yeah, Gerald.
But it didn't annoy me that he was American, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
There weren't like another podcast who goes, let's go every 5 minutes. Another
no,
podcast,
that's
which I'm not going to mention.
Mm,
Yeah. Very annoying. Rather ridiculous, actually.
yeah, Grimlore podcast. If you have the time,
Grimlore, check them out.
Exactly, very good.
Check them out.
Which
exactly, and I'm probably going to be a guest on there too at some point.
Yeah,
I've been offered.
Yeah,
I just haven't had the schedule yet. So great guys, always willing to talk. We might get them on here sometime.
Yeah, I think it would be good. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'll discuss it with you after this episode. What we could bring them in for.
Sounds good. We could show them our nipples.
Oh yeah, polar bear fencing 101.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, mine aren't for polar bears. Mine are for kangaroos.
Ah, yeah, or spiders.
Yeah,
or that's
right.
That's what that's what your dick's for.
Well, mine are skippy slayers. Let's just say that. Nah,
Skippy the bush kangaroo.
Hey, you know that?
Yeah, of course I do.
Oh wow! Wow. You're basically Australian.
I just need a brutal accent to go with it.
Yeah, accent's not too brutal. Oi, cat! Oh, fuck. The other thing is, too, we have Patreons to shout out.
Yeah.
One.
Well, one. Actually,
Gerald again?
Gerald. That's his third mention in this episode. That's a...
Oh, fuck it.
That's a Triforce.
MVP of the episode.
Hell yeah. It's basically in here now.
You are now Zelda. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, thanks for sponsoring us on the Patreon. You know how much it means now. You got your own podcast when people support you. It means the world to us when.
Yeah, man.
And I've sent you out your stuff already, so I hope you've got it in the mail. So.
It's a big one, man. Hey, and like just on Patreon in general, like we do this for nothing, really. You know what I mean? Like, apart from our 3D printers, we were just, like, doing it because we love fostering a good community and whatever. But, like, knowing, even just when people say to us, hey, we really love the new episode, or we really like this, or, or we throw an episode idea or whatever, like, we fucking love that, man. Like, Panda was very kind last night. I'm not going to get the context, but he basically said that, in his mind, we're one of the best Warhammer podcasts out there. And, like, that's insane to me. Because there are so many good Warhammer podcasts out there. And the fact that, like, to that dude, he loves our content enough that, like, not only, I'm pretty sure he's a patron, I haven't looked lately, but I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
He genuinely feels that way, and, like, that makes it worth staying up till 4 a.m. recording, which I do every time we do this. It's worth all of it. And, like, even when people give $1 or $2 a month, like, that shit shows us that you value the time that we put in. And that's all we need. Like, that we appreciate the fuck out of that. So, if you're new and you get a laugh out of this or whatever, if you just love hearing me say cunt, or you don't love hearing me say cunt, let me know and subscribe to our Patreon and I'll try and tone it down. Not really. But, the point is, get the fuck up in here, support your homies, because if you're not supporting your boys and you just content creators in general, this stuff doesn't exist. You don't get cool Discord communities and things like that. So, everyone that is supporting, you're the best. Everyone that's not, we know economics is hard, but just, do what you can. Look after us. And we'll look after you and your ear holes.
Yeah. And if you take out the right Patreon tier, we'll even send you models, so.
We will. Well, Obi will. I won't.
Yeah, I got a few
but I'll
more.
tell him he did a good job for doing it.
Yeah. I think I sent them all out, except for somebody who I still have to paint models for.
Is it me?
No.
No. Oh, I know who it is.
Shut up.
Poor Mitzi.
Shut up.
And besides that, join us on Discord. If you want to hear me yell at Fortnite, or see me finish games like Sonic the Hedgehog, or see Obi when he occasionally pops in after fighting polar bears, drenched in blood with polar bear blood and the hide everywhere, come hang out.
Yeah.
That's what we do, I feel like there's going to be some more Tekken going on soon, because some people have been talking smack and I need to get my leg sweep on, So, Gonna get the Discord back in line. But nah, come hang out. It's a fucking rip-roaring time. And if you're Australian, we're on it upside down times. Not because we're Australian, but because I'm a night shift worker, so I'm on at like 2, 3 in the morning. So if it's not on there, it's not because it's not active, it's because there are other time zones, or it's me.
Or it's me. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's it. Have you got nothing else you want to add, man?
No, I'm good. I'm good for this one. I think I'm satisfied. Real happy with this one.
Excellent. So, in that case, I guess until next time, get those badges.
Collect them all.
And we are the Pokemon trainers of the hobby. No, we're the Knights of the Hobby Table. Don't get it twisted. But for real, have fun, crank the amp and shit.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.